Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's lipstick declutter marathon. I am splitting up my declutter marathon mega cuts into two separate parts. Today you will be getting my lipstick marathon, so we are going to cover all lip categories in my collection. I have 244 lip products that we are going to be going through today. I have already posted this in two separate parts, so this will just kind of be a repeat of that. I will try and clip out any really loud noises in case you like to put on like mega cuts like this as you fall asleep, things like that. But I just wanted to, I know a lot of people actually really like the mega cuts, so I wanted to put it all together in case you're interested in just one long video while you cook, clean, do whatever. That is what today's video is going to be. So I will recap at the very end, at the tail end. I'll let you know the total percent of my lip collection that we did declutter, but we are going to be getting into every single lip product in my makeup collection today, going through everything, swatching a lot. I will say, if you are watching this while you're falling asleep, the lipstick portion is probably going to be a bit loud, simply because my daughter helped me as like a judge in that portion of the video. And so there's like a lot more talking and maybe some like bantering back and forth. Just forewarning you on that. But we are going to go through my entire lip product collection, swatch, try everything, swatch a lot of it, declutter a decent amount of it, and keep a lot of it too. So if you are interested, stay tuned. First, if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel, and you like project painting content, palette themed content, or just hanging out and chit chatting about makeup, that is what we do over on this channel. So I hope you'll consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into this lipstick marathon declutter. Hello and welcome to my collection of 80 lip glosses. I counted it out and I was like, this is actually just not okay. I feel like there's a few products in here that I've maybe counted different in my makeup inventory in the past. Sometimes it's hard for me to categorize lip products, but like these balm glossy sticks, I'm just gonna count in glosses. It's just gonna work best for me. Same with like these. There's 80 lip glosses here. I'm starting with lip gloss because I do love lip gloss, and I think this is going to be probably the most challenging for me to declutter. I feel like part of the reason I struggled to declutter lip gloss is because it's really hard for me. There's like the panner's mentality that you get into that's like, it's not so bad that I can't finish it. But I have 80 lip glosses, and I have so many favorites that I love to reach for. There's some I know I'm only keeping around because the panner in me just wants to finish all the glosses. It will take me forever to finish 80 lip glosses, and I'd rather just focus on the glosses that I love, replace the glosses that I love. I pretty much have my top 3 formulas are Lawless Forget the Filler, Fenty Gloss Bomb, and then I do love the Buxom glosses as well. I also, oh yeah, I fell in love with the Makeup Forever Super Boost this year. So I definitely have my favorite gloss formulas. I love to buy and try new lip products too, but we need to make some progress here. So I'm going to start with my little organizer here, because this is like my favorite glosses aside from my Fenty's, which don't fit in here. So there's nothing in this that I'm going to get rid of. I may swatch some lip glosses, you guys, but probably not all. I have my entire Lawless Forget the Filler collection. I was collecting like all the shades at one point, but then I just like got to a point where I couldn't keep up. It's a $26 lip gloss. They do go pretty quickly, and I was like, I just can't keep up. So the shades that I have, Lavender Sorbet, I'm really close to finishing. This is one of my favorite shades. Actually, Velvet's my favorite. I've gone through Velvet, Rosy Outlook, Cherry Vanilla. I feel like there's a couple others I've gone through. Juicy Watermelon, I feel like I've gone through, and then I had a second backup, and it's rolling around somewhere, probably at the bottom of my car, or there's probably a couple glosses missing. I feel like inevitably there's gloss somewhere that I'm missing. But Lavender Sorbet is a beautiful, beautiful color. I have Rosy Outlook, and I think I have a backup of Rosy. No, that's Nudie. I have Rosy Outlook, which is the clear. I'm actually going to take Lavender Sorbet out and set it with my panning stuff, because this is something I am working on in a project pan. I guess that means I can put Nudie in its spot, or in a spot. So I think I have 2 Nudies though. We'll find the other Nudie here. Okay, then I have, oh, Nudie and Annie. Some of these, like Annie's not my favorite. It's very, very light in tone. But I was gonna do a whole swatching video, and then I actually made that, and then I never like actually edited it. And now I'm like, I just don't know if that's ever gonna happen. But I love the Lawless Forget the Filler formula. My recommendation is never get the mini. The doe foot on the mini Lawlesses are different. The large size has this nice large doe foot that kind of hugs your lips, and the application is just such a better experience with the full size. So if you want to try this formula, I recommend just picking a shade you think is going to work for you in the full size and buying that. All right, then I have the shade Glaze, which is a really fun kind of like metallic. Definitely not an everyday reach for me. I don't think I would buy glazed again, but it's fun to reach for from time to time. I have Candy Sky, which I think was a limited edition release. Again, kind of like a more metallic. There's that one swatch. That one's very, very metallic. Not gonna be my everyday reach again. I don't know if you can even get Candy Sky again. I wouldn't purchase Candy Sky again. I have another, Rosy Outlook. Okay. I'm gonna move some of these around. Then I have Velvet, which is my favorite. This for me just is like the perfect Your Lips but better shade. I've gone through a full tube of Velvet, and this is a shade that I would continue to repurchase just because I do really love the way that that one looks on my lips. Then I have Daisy Girl, which I've really been enjoying. This is more of like a milky kind of metallic pink. Really fun. I have Dazette, which is, I think Dazette may have come out with Candy Sky. I can't really remember. That one's a super, super frosty kind of metallic. I actually feel like I should pull this one to reach for this time of year, or just not forget about it. I might swap that out just so it's front and center. Then I have the shade Daisy Pink. Have I gone through a Daisy Pink? Maybe. This one is a really like fun bubblegum pink. Really fun for like the summer. I have the Jumbo Cherry Vanilla. I've actually gone through 2 full sizes of Cherry Vanilla. This is just a really, really beautiful sheer red. Highly, highly recommend Cherry Vanilla. Then I have the shade Maple Sugar. I'm almost done with Maple Sugar. This is a more pigmented kind of brown shade. Really fun for the fall time. I do anticipate I will finish this one before the end of the year. I don't know if you can tell, but there is heavy, heavy windowing on this one. And then finally I have the shade George, which is also a darker shade. Not quite as dark as Maple Sugar, but a really fun kind of nudie brown. Behind that, I have 2 of the Huda Beauty Faux Filler lip glosses. I have the shade Glassy as well as Chic Glitzy. Chic Glassy is like just a clear gloss. Probably my favorite clear gloss that I've tried. I was expecting this to be more like plumping, or I was expecting this to have kind of a plumping aspect because it's called faux filler. It does not have a plumping aspect at all. It is really glossy, but definitely not the most like juicy lip formula I've ever used. But in terms of just if you want a clear gloss, this is my favorite clear gloss that I've personally tried. Last winter they came out with this really fun like frosty white pink sort of shade with a bunch of sparkle in it. I think this was limited edition, but I also purchased that one. Then I have 2 of the Glossier Balm Sticks, Nourishing Shine colors. I have Apricot, which is this really fun kind of orangey shade. I think these are beautiful. I actually really like these from Glossier, and if there were like more shades, especially like a nudie shade, I would definitely buy. I think they're really comfortable on the lips, but give a really nice shine. The second one is in the shade Deco. And then I have 2 of the YSL Candy Glazes. I have the shade 2, which is just like the clear. And then I also have the shade 15, which is kind of just like a rosy glassy balm. I got this in a holiday set last year. It was basically like 2 for the price of 1. I would never pay full price for these. I don't even know if I would buy a holiday set again, just because I reach for a regular gloss more than I do a product like this. But I had heard so many people rave about the YSL Candy Glazes. I definitely wanted to try them for myself. All right, the Valentino Puffer Gloss. I have the shade 300R. I purchased this year. This definitely has a bit of a plumping aspect to it. I was really into pink lips this year. This is definitely more of like an icy pink shade, but I actually have really enjoyed this. It's a very expensive gloss. I want to say it retails for $38. I don't know if I would buy this one again. I feel like there's definitely probably a shade closer to this in the Lawless. And the Lawless has like a bit of a mintiness to it, but it doesn't have a plumping aspect, whereas this does. Plumping glosses are really not my favorite. I feel like I'm kind of a baby when it comes to plumping glosses. If this is something that like I feel like I would finish and wait to repurchase and see if I missed it, I do still think it's a beautiful formula. It's just so expensive. All right, and then I have these 3 from Bella Beauté Bar. I was trying to decide if I wanted to include these in the balms or in lip gloss, because these are technically called like the sparkly balm. I am a huge fan of these. These are comfortable on the lips and give just a really, really beautiful shine to the lips. Oh, there is something just special about these in my opinion. This first one is in the shade Dreamscape. I recently purchased the shade Psychokinetic because I was enjoying the formula so much, and I thought this would be a really fun one for the holidays. You can't really see the sparkle probably on camera. Should I zoom you guys in some? Let me zoom you in. Maybe you can see a little bit better. But the way that it sparkles on the lips, I just feel like it makes the lips look a little bit fuller, which I've just really been enjoying. And then I have this shade Decay, which I thought was pretty unique for my collection. And I really have enjoyed all 3 of these. All right, my Makeup Forever Super Boosts. I have the shade 2 Fairy Glimmer, which is kind of like an orangey, almost like an orangey peach with a pink sparkle to it. Really beautiful. These, I don't know what magic is in these, but these make your lips look so full, glassy and glossy. They are beautiful. I also have the shade 6 Wherever Walnut, which is this kind of medium brown shade. And then also the shade 9 Daring Candy, which is a really fun pink. And then I know I'm missing a Buxom gloss somewhere, which makes me really sad because it's a shade I really like. I forget what it was called, but I'm definitely missing one. I have 2 of the Buxom Plump Shots. These, I will say, are the most painful and most irritating to my lips of all of the Buxom glosses. These ones actually irritate my lips, whereas the other ones kind of just give that minty sensation. The Buxom glosses last such a long time. Like, you don't have to reapply very often, and I also just feel like you get so much gloss in the tube. Like, these last so long. I have the shades Hypnotic Garnet, which is this more wine-colored shade. And then I also have this shade, which I will swatch for you. This is in Spellbound Pink. Again, I was loving pink lips this year, and I was loving layering this Spellbound Pink on top of so many things. There was a moment there where I was literally layering this on top of like everything that I put on my lips. It just has such a beautiful pink sparkly finish to it. Ugh, I really loved that one. And then a lot of my other Buxom lip glosses are more just like nude shades. So these both are the full-on, or sorry, I have the full-on plumping lip polish, and then this is a full-on plumping lip creme. I have Bailey Butterscotch, and then this is in Pumpkin Spice White Russian, which the White Russian I believe was limited edition. Then I have another lip polish in Samantha, which is a really beautiful nude, and another full-on plumping lip creme. This is in Blushing Margarita, which is a beautiful pink. And then I have this one, which is another lip cream, and this is in Gin Fizz. This I was expecting to be more of a nude, but it really is almost like a white clear. This one definitely is not my favorite. Should I declutter this one? No, it's fine. I was like, I still like it. I can still layer it on things. It just kind of like really pales things out. And then I have 2 minis here. I have one that is over halfway gone. This is in the shade Celeste. This is kind of a blue and pink sparkly shade. And then I also have the shade Dolly, which I actually have gone through a full size of the Buxom Dolly before. So those are some of my absolute favorite glosses. Again, not getting rid of any of those. And then I also have all of my Fenty Beauty gloss bombs, which I really love as well. So I have last year's holiday release. This is in Fussy Flex. This was one of those like swirled shades. And this, you can't get this anymore, so maybe I shouldn't even swatch this, but this is just like a really fun, bright, kind of like fuchsia pink. I feel like it is pretty unique to my collection in terms of a gloss. My favorite shade is the shade Riri. This came out, it has the football logo on it. I'm obsessed with football if you didn't know. But this is my favorite shade. They do, I believe this was limited edition when this came out, but they do make this shade now. I should just give myself permission to finish the shade. I think it's just such a fun, beautiful kind of mid-toned mauve-y shade. I think it's so pretty. Then I think this is the original, yeah, the original Fenty Glow. I've gone through several of the Fenty Glow. I didn't realize you can actually get Champ Stamp Fantasy now in a regular size. I think I wouldn't necessarily buy Fenty Glow again, but I would buy Champ Stamp Fantasy. I love this like champagne sparkly gloss. This one, not my favorite, but definitely not anything I want to declutter. This is Hologram. I think this was the holiday release 2 holidays ago. I really should try and get more use out of this because it's obviously getting a little bit older. Same thing with this. Like, I feel like I've had this one for quite a while. The Hologram is more of like a, it's almost like a white with like, almost like a yellow gold. There's definitely like a duochrome reflect to it. Just not my most reached for. I did buy Mango Margs this year. I actually bought it basically the week I stopped wearing makeup, but I didn't know I was gonna stop wearing makeup. I'm so excited to pull for this summer. It's such a beautiful, fun orange. I love orange lips in the summer. I love a spicy margarita, I always say. So this is gonna be my patio drinking gloss for sure all summer long in 2026. Then I have the Fenty Heat, which I've been trying to finish. This is probably my most irritating plumping lip gloss in my entire collection. I don't love it. I definitely wouldn't buy the Heat again. Again, I don't care to have like an irritating plumping gloss. I'd rather just have less plump lips, but I do want to finish this. I think it's a beautiful shade. I just don't enjoy how it feels on my lips. One I do think I actually will declutter is the Fenty Beauty Cream. This is starting to smell like it's gone off, and it's a very pigmented gloss because it is the cream formula. And it's just not my favorite to wear. Like, I'd rather reach for something that's just like more sparkly and a little more sheer, whereas this is obviously more pigmented and opaque. So I actually am going to declutter the Fenty Cream. And if I didn't say, this is in the shade Candy Milk. Okay, then I have this one from Kaleidos. This is, I want to say they call this the Lip Bath. I don't know what shade this is. I do really like this formula though. It is a really beautiful, whatever shade it is, it's a really beautiful kind of nude shade. And it's super comfortable on the lips. So I am going to keep that. I'm also definitely keeping my Haus Labs PhD Hybrid Lip Glaze Gloss in the shade Fig. I absolutely loved this time last year. It is such a beautiful, like deep wine shade, but it ends up being like so sheer on the lips. I love the way that this looks on the lips. In fact, after falling in love with this, then I went on the hunt for more similar to this. This is an expensive product, but I would buy this again when I finish, specifically in this shade, just to have this shade in my collection. I love this. And then these lifter glosses are quite old in my collection. I want to smell these. I have the shade 6 Reef. It doesn't smell like it's gone off. There's that one swatched though. I just don't know that that's like a shade I really care to have. I feel like I'd rather reach for a Lawless Pink over the shade Reef, so I think I'll actually declutter that lifter gloss. I do like the lifter gloss formula. I've gone through several tubes. That one smells okay too. This one is in the shade Stone, which is more of like a nude shade. I will keep Stone just because I do love a nude, so I think I could get used to it. We'll keep Stone, declutter Reef. Okay, cleared off everything that I'm keeping so that we have more room to go through the glosses that maybe I just have like 1 or 2 of, not quite as many repeats. And this is where I think maybe we could get rid of some things. I'm not going to get rid of either of my Half Magic glosses. I really like these again for a beautiful sparkly gloss. This one is in the shade Y2K Cherub. This is newer to my collection. Just a very, very sparkly pink gloss, but definitely kind of just the type of thing that I've really been into this year. I've been into a very sparkly lip. And then I have the shade Chaos Prone, which I do like. I will say I struggle a little bit with this one just because it is more pigmented. Sometimes I feel like the way that it sits on my lips, I have to babysit it a little bit just to make sure it doesn't look crazy. I don't know that I buy this shade again, just because, again, I just kind of feel like I have to keep an eye on it. This one, not so much because it is so sheer. I do think it's a beautiful gloss formula. I'm not sure if I would repurchase either once I finish, but both of those are gonna stay. Okay, then I have the Tarte Maracuja Lip Plump. I have the shade Poppy. This is one that, like, I feel like I should keep it. I bought it because of the hype. I do feel like that is a pretty shade for the summer though. I feel like I should try and finish this next year. Then if I don't, maybe declutter it next year. Okay, I'm gonna keep Poppy for now. I am also gonna keep the Kaja Gloss Shot in the shade Milk Tea. I actually really do like this. I think it's a pretty milky pink shade. I like the applicator. It's another one of those applicators that kind of just hugs your lips. And it is just a really comfortable, smooth formula. Nothing with, like, not a lip gloss with a lot of bells and whistles, but it's still really beautiful and I'd like to keep that. This one right here from Physicians Formula, I feel like is one that I've been keeping just because I'm like, I know I could finish this. I actually feel like I've used quite a bit. I really like this when it first launched. Like, I think it's a pretty shade as well. It smells like watermelon, but I hate the applicator. I don't know if you can see how much my applicator is, like, fraying. It's like a paintbrush applicator. And this is when I just feel like I'm reaching for this just because I want to finish it, not because I'm excited about it. It's not a bad formula either. I get annoyed to apply it because of the frayed brush tip. So I'm going to declutter that one. I have two of these Kaja Heart Melter Moisture Melt Lip Gloss Sticks. I have the shade Too Sweet Talk. This is a pretty bright pink. Oh, why do I feel like I didn't realize I had that in my collection? I feel like I would have had so much fun with that this summer, as I was loving, like, a bright pink. And then I have this shade, which is 7 Let's Chill. I actually enjoy this formula as well. I think it's a fun, more comfortable lip formula. I just don't reach for it that frequently. I definitely do want to keep this shade just because I feel like it's a fun pink shade. Again, I was really into pink lips this year. I'm trying to decide on whether or not I need this one. Just because I'm like, this is reminding me of Lawless Lavender Sorbet. This has a little bit more opacity to it, but I don't really know that I care about that. I think I'm going to declutter this one. I feel like I'd be keeping that just to keep it and try and use it, but I think I'm ready to let that one go. I'm also ready to let this one go from Bite. This is in the shade Cinnamon Twist. I feel like I've been trying to finish this for such a long time. Bite Beauty hasn't been a brand for several years at this point in time, and so this is quite old. I'm just ready to let that one go. I have this one from Flower Nose. This is in the shade Bluebell. And this is another one of those applicators that kind of like hugs your lips. Ooh, I feel like this is supposed to have pigment to it, but I feel like that formula is kind of separating. It's coming out clear, but it's supposed to be like a more pigmented gloss. I feel like I need to get rid of that because I feel like it's going bad. Okay, gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna wipe my hand off. All right, then I have all of these Kopari lip glossies, which I have been a Kopari lip glossy stan in the past. I loved this. Like, I've gone through probably at least 5 or 6 full tubes of the lip glossy. I just love my Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve so much more. And anytime that I typically would be reaching for something like the Kopari lip glossy, I'm now wanting to reach for my Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve, which I'm including in the lip treatments / balms, by the way. So I think I'm going to keep this one from Kopari. This is just a clear. I'm almost done with this. In fact, I do think I can finish this before the end of the year, but I am going to let go of these 3. I'll see if maybe my daughter wants these 3. I have Bellini Peach, Nude Beach, and then I also have Pineapple. I've finished a pineapple in the past, actually. But I am ready to just move on from the Kopari lip glossy formula. So those 3 are going to get decluttered. All right, moving on to the top here. I am going to keep my Lancome Juicy Tube. This is in the shade shade Marshmallow Electro. I picked this up during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. It was half off. This is like a nostalgic product for me. I used to pretty much exclusively use Lancome Juicy Tubes when I was in middle and high school because this is what my sister and I would get with my mom. So it is a fun, like kind of baby pink sparkly shade. I'm gonna keep that. I'm also gonna keep my Givenchy Glossy Balm, I forgot, Liquid Balm in the shade 110. Is it Rose Perfection? This is just a really beautiful nude. I need to use this. It's getting quite old in my collection. Yeah, it doesn't smell off yet, but I feel like the formula is thicker than I remember. So I should get use out of this. Try and focus on finishing that maybe the early part of 2026, but I'm gonna keep that one. I'm also gonna keep both of these from Ravi Beauty. I have the shade Lily, and this is something I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should have included this in my lipsticks, but they are kind of that beautiful balmy formula. Lily is such a beautiful color. And then I also have the shade Dahlia, which is a little bit deeper. I need to pull these out and use these. They're such a beautiful product. I really like these. I just do not use them enough. Then I have this one from REM. This is the Glossy Balm in the shade Cherry Cola. This kind of reminds me of that Fig shade, but maybe has a little bit more of like a readiness to it rather than Fig had a little bit more brown to it. I think this is a really beautiful kind of sheer red gloss. Really enjoyed reaching for this last winter and excited to reach for that again this winter. This one I'm torn on. This is the Nabla Shine Theory Gloss in Renaissance. I'm so close to being done with this one. Like, I feel like I just want to see this one through and finish it up. It's not my favorite formula by any means. It is a little bit more sticky, but it does have a really beautiful kind of shine to the lips. I feel like the painter in me is saying, girl, you are like 3/4 done with this. Like, let's just finish that one off. I don't know if you can see all the windowing. I'm gonna keep that, but it's definitely not a favorite. I'm also gonna keep my Glamlight Daphne Gloss. This is a really, really beautiful sparkly pink shade. I wish I could still get this. I absolutely love that. Like, it's just so fun and so sparkly. I really should finish this one next year though, because this is another one getting to be older in my collection. I think I am going to let go of the Catrice Marblicious Liquid Lip Balm. This is just not a favorite of mine. There's so many other things in my collection I'd rather reach for over this product. I'm seeing a lot of windowing. Like, I have used a lot of this, but the last few times that I've reached for this, I'm like, why am I reaching for this? I'd rather be reaching for like Lawless Forget the Filler. So I'm going to let that go. And then I'm also going to let this one go too. This is from Give Them Lala Beauty. It is the Hydra Gloss in Trippin'. It's another one that I'm like, the painter in me is like, this would be so easy to finish, but it's just not a favorite formula, and there's so many other things I'd rather be reaching for over this. I'm gonna let this one go. I'm also gonna let go of my Becca Glow Gloss in the shade Citrine X Apricot. This is, I've panned 2 Becca lip glosses at this point, and this would take, like, I feel like 6 to 8 months to finish. Like, Becca glosses, just, there's no quit to them. They just keep going. They just keep glossing. And this is kind of one that reminds me of that Nabla one. It's pretty, really shiny, but this is also so old in my collection. I would not enjoy trying to finish that off. All right, Tower 28 also used to be a favorite gloss formula of mine, but they just are not anymore. They aren't long lasting, and I just don't love them. I also feel like mine are getting quite old, so I feel like these are probably, like, some of them definitely, oh yeah, like this one needs to go straight to the trash can. That smells like it's definitely gone off. This one is in the shade Coconut, by the way. This one doesn't necessarily have a smell to it yet. It's Chestnut. This is Chill. Chill smells like it's possibly okay. And then finally, I have the shade Dream, which I think was limited edition in a holiday set. Dream smells like it's okay. Coconut needs to go. Anyway, I'm gonna declutter all of those. My daughter might want the Tower 28 ones that are still like, okay. I'm definitely keeping my Isamaya Lip Lac in the shade Rust. This, what am I doing? is a very, very, very sparkly lip gloss. A really beautiful kind of sheer orange with like a green glitter running throughout it. This is something that also has a bit of a lip plumping sensation to it, but it's not crazy. Like, it's definitely there, but it's nothing that's super irritating to my lips. I love this for the summer. I think it's such a fun shade. I would definitely be interested in potentially picking up something a little bit more neutral. I cannot buy any more glosses until I finish some of these though. So hopefully that wouldn't be for a while, but I'm definitely gonna keep that one. Then I have my e.l.f. Sun Boss gloss. This is in the shade Blush Much, I believe. Okay, this expires March of 2026. By the time I would be reaching for an SPF lip gloss again would be past March. This is something I would buy again. I thought this was a really nice gloss formula. I actually prefer this to a lot of SPF lip balms. So I would potentially end up buying another one of these come next summer, but I am just gonna let this one go because I really use this specifically for the SPF. And by the time I'd be reaching for this again, it'll be expired. So I'm gonna let that one go. Then I have this one from Go-Go Tales. And this is a pretty pigmented gloss. I don't, like, it's a nice formula. I just don't like something this pigmented and opaque in a gloss because it's, again, one of those things you kind of have to baby. You have to make sure it's not getting outside your lip lines, not sticking to your teeth. And it is bulkier packaging as well. So I think I'm gonna let that go. And then finally I have this one from Flower Nose in the shade Berry Bomb. If I'm remembering correctly, I think this is a pink sparkly shade as well. Yeah, that has such a beautiful pink sparkle to it. I am definitely going to be keeping that. It reminds me of the Daphne gloss, but this one is a little bit more purple, whereas this is more of like a, or maybe just like cool toned purpley pink, whereas the Daphne is a little bit more warm toned. Both beautiful. I am going to keep this one. And so that means of all of my glosses, we're actually decluttering more than I thought that I could possibly do in gloss. Okay, so that means we are decluttering 18 lip glosses. That still means we have 62 lip glosses, which is insane, ridiculous, I know. I will say there's a couple that I do think I could still finish before the end of the year, and then I really think that I need to tell myself I need to get to like 50 lip glosses before I can allow myself to buy any more gloss. Like, I really think I need to stick that rule on myself. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for the lip gloss portion of today's declutter. Let's move on to lip oils. Moving on to lip oils, I currently have 24 lip oils. Again, plus or minus, well, not minus, possibly plus a couple that are like floating around that I'm missing, who knows. I feel like I can do a little bit better in lip oils simply because I'm not a lip oil lover as much anymore. I feel like I had a moment there where I really loved lip oils, but now I find them to be too thin on my lips most of the time. And I either want a gloss or I want like a lip treatment. So I feel like we definitely can do some damage here. My favorite lip oil formula is the Gloss Bomb Oil from Fenty Beauty. This feels more like a hybrid between a gloss and an oil. In fact, it's the Gloss Bomb Oil. So this is more up my alley. This one is in the shade Frosted Buns. I actually bought this when it was still limited edition, and I'm so happy that they've made this a part of their permanent line. I love the doe foot applicator on this. It's one of those that like kind of hugs your lips. I think this shade specifically is really beautiful. I absolutely would buy more shades, would buy this when I finish this one. I love the kind of champagne glowy shade in this. I don't notice the grittiness of any sort of sparkle in this, although there is sparkle. So I find it to be really comfortable on the lips. I really enjoy that. So this one's gonna stay. I'm also gonna keep my Too Faced Kissing Lip Jelly Gloss. This one is in the shade Cream Soda. I will say I do find the glitter in this one to be more distracting than I noticed in the Bubblegum shade. I did really enjoy the Bubblegum shade. It was a fun, sparkly pink. I would buy Bubblegum again. But I'm not a big fan of the, I shouldn't say I'm not a big fan, I just wouldn't buy again any of the ones that don't have the sparkle, and then I don't know, I'd just be skeptical going forward. I really enjoyed this when I first bought it. I again would buy Bubblegum again because I really like that shade. Not a huge fan of Cream Soda, but I'm going to use it because it's not like so bad. But this one made me skeptical of all others. I've also gone through, I think, Sour Watermelon, which didn't have any sparkle to it. That was fine, just not as special on the lips. Therefore, for me personally, I wouldn't buy one of the non-sparkly shades. Then I have the Clarins lip oil, which is another favorite lip oil formula. This is of lip oils that are like a true lip oil and not a hybrid between a gloss and a lip oil. This would be my favorite formula. I love having this fun black shade in my collection too, just because it's quite unique to my collection. It also has checkered print, if you couldn't tell, and I do love checkered print things. So this one's gonna stay. Then I have all these Bare Minerals lip oils. They sent over the full range. I feel like I might be missing one or two. I find this to be so thin on the lips. It doesn't even last like 15 minutes. All of the shades look just like a clear sheer lip oil on the lips, and I just don't care to keep this in my collection. I'd much rather reach for my Ole Henriksen lip treatment. I'd much rather reach for a lip gloss. I'd much rather reach for the Clarins. So I'm actually going to declutter all of these. I know my daughter will take a couple of these. I also think maybe my mom and sister would take a couple, but I'm not going to keep... I thought about maybe keeping one of these, but I just don't need to do that. So all of those I'm going to declutter. Okay, then I have the e.l.f. lip oil. This one is in the shade Jam Session. I will say this is not my favorite like lip product either, but I really like this shade. It reminds me of the Fig shade from the House Labs, and that's why I bought this one. So I'm going to keep this. This one is kind of an in-between between a gloss and a lip oil too, a little bit thicker. I definitely like it better than like the Bare Minerals or the Merit, but I think going forward I would really probably only buy this shade because I like this shade. It's just not a formula that I would be seeking out to like constantly. I'd be buying this more for the shade than the formula is what I'm trying to say. All right, the NYX Fat Lip Oil I've been keeping around because the panner in me just wants to finish this, but I just don't care about this product. I don't love it. I find this to be more of a gloss than a lip oil, and it's not my most favorite gloss by any means, so I am also going to declutter this. I have mine in the shade Missed Call. I also have this from Judy Doll, which is kind of like a pretty pigmented lip oil formula, not a shade I really like, and also I don't want my lip oils to be like this opaque and this pigmented, so I'm gonna pass that along. I am gonna keep all three of my Gisou lip oils. I do like this. I think this is something when I first bought this shade, which I do love, this red sparkly shade. I believe this is in the shade Cherry on the Cake. I was really enamored by this. It was around the holiday times that I was using this. I loved the sheer sparkly red in this. I then went on to purchase, I actually may have stolen this one from my daughter. This is in the shade Watermelon Sugar. I went on to purchase the peach shade this summer and was using this quite a bit. I do find that my packaging leaks if it's not sitting upright, so I have to be careful about that. And I don't find it to be the most long-lasting lip product of all time, so I think there was a moment where I was like, do I need to collect all of the Gisou lip oils? I don't think so. I would definitely continue to buy Cherry on the Cake because I think it's a really fun sparkly gloss. Watermelon Sugar also has a really beautiful sparkle to it, but I would buy this more for like the shade and the sparkle rather than for the love of the formula, if that makes any sense. But I'm going to keep all three of those, and I'm going to now store them upright so that I don't have any leaking. All right, this Jouer Tinted Hydrating Lip Oil, I recently got in an advent calendar. I will say I've been bringing this to work. Not a very long-lasting formula. I have the shade Bardot. Yeah, Bardot, which is just like a nudie pink. I think I can easily finish this up just as like a car lip oil or something that I have at work. I don't find that it hydrates my lips though, and it's not a very long-lasting formula, so it would not be something I'd be seeking out to buy again when I finish this, nor would I really recommend that. I am also going to declutter this. It's just, it is like a beautiful clear formula, but I actually find that this dries my lips out when I wear it rather than hydrates them. You can tell I've used a decent amount of this. I thought about keeping this just to try and finish it, but every time I wear this, I notice that I feel like my lips just feel more dry, and so I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? All right, then I have these three from Kaja. I also have another one. I'm sure this rolling around at the bottom of my car. I loved these when these first launched. These were the Juicy Glass Plump Lip Oil, Juicy Glass Lip Oil. Kaja did send all these over to me. I've noticed the last few months that I've been wearing this, it almost has this like mintiness to it that I don't remember, and it just feels uncomfortable on the lips. So I'm almost wondering if these have gone bad, and I do not enjoy wearing these like I used to. So I'm gonna declutter all 3 of those. And then I have this one from Basie Beauty. I think this is just like a clear glossy oil. Not something I really care to keep. I'd rather just reach for a clear lip gloss over this. So I'm gonna declutter that. Then I have this one from Milani. This is in Cranberry Currant. I'm gonna smell this one. Oh yeah, it still smells fine. I found this rolling around in the bottom of my car, so it just makes me a little nervous. But I've used like a good amount of this product. I actually really do like the Milani Fruit Fetish lip oils. I think they're a more comfortable formula. Again, kind of maybe a little bit more thick, a little bit between like a gloss and an oil. I think this is a fun shade. I know it looks pretty sheer there. It's pretty sheer on the lips. I don't know if you can see all the windowing, but I definitely have made good effort to finish this one off. So I would buy another Milani one if the shade was right. Like if they had like a fun pink shade, I would definitely buy again. That one's gonna stay. And then, okay, the Merit lip oils I do not like. Like I don't like. I have the shades Lido and Archival. Archival? Archival. I think it's Archival. Oh my gosh. Anyway, first of all, the doe foot is like the smallest thing ever. Like it's just like feels stupid on the lips. I don't know. That sounded really mean, but it just, the size is not good, if you will. And these I feel like dry my lips out a bit as well. Maybe not as much as this here, but it's kind of similar to the Jouer. Like I put it on my lips, it's kind of just there. I don't feel like it does a whole lot to like do anything. And it's not a very long lasting formula at all. I do like this shade though, to top on top of some like ColourPop Oh Snap. I think this looks really beautiful on. I also have the lipstick and the lip liner in the same shade, so I'd like to keep this. And then I also like made a commitment to myself that I was going to pan this before the end of the year, and it hasn't been sitting upright, but I'm over halfway through with this one, so the panner in me is actually going to finish this one rather than declutter it. But the Merit lip oils would not buy, would not recommend. So for lip oils, we did a lot better. We are keeping 11 lip oils, and we are actually decluttering 13. So I think this is the first category that I'm actually decluttering over half of my collection, which makes me really happy. It makes sense. And I honestly feel like once these 3 are gone, and honestly this one too, unless I buy bubblegum pink again, like I don't think I need a huge lip oil collection. I just much prefer a lip treatment or a lip gloss. But I'm very happy to say keeping 11, decluttering 13. All right, moving on to lip balms and lip treatments. I have 38, which is a little ridiculous. Some of these my daughter and I like already just share, like all of the Laneige lip sleeping masks. We pretty much just share. So at least there's another person trying to help me use these up. And actually I am gonna start with all of my Laneige lip sleeping masks. One is not, actually I have the lid to one because I think right now it is literally like in my daughter's bed with her and she is sleeping, and we are missing, but it's definitely somewhere, the Laneige lip sleeping mask in watermelon. So I have the Taro Tea, which is a favorite, working my way through that. Watermelon. All of the Laneige masks are staying. I also have the eggnog latte from last year, most recently the pumpkin pie, and then also the Baskin Robbins from earlier this year. The two were like, I was like, eggnog, I'm like definitely working my way through. I've actually been bringing this to work with me. My lips have just been so dry. So I've been trying to put this on a couple times a day at work. And then the Taro Tea one, we're over halfway through. Same thing with the watermelon. So I'm hoping maybe I could finish this one before the end of the year. This is probably the only one I think I could maybe finish before the end of the year, and still it'll be a stretch. We love our Laneige lip sleeping masks, so obviously all those are staying. I'm also gonna keep the Fresh Watermelon Hydrating Lip Balm. I would buy the lemon one in this again because I really enjoyed the lemon last year. I bought the watermelon because I thought it would be a good one for the summer. I'm not saying it's not, I just prefer the lemon. I will say this type of application using a finger is not my favorite, but I do find that this lip balm is really nice and hydrating. So I actually do really like these ones from Fresh. And the potted version is a lot less expensive than the like actual chapstick tube ones, and they've reformulated the tube ones and they're just not as good as they once were. But I'm gonna keep that. I'm also gonna keep my Lawless Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask. I really like this as a lip prep step. It does hydrate the lips, but then it also gives this nice like juicy plumping situation to the lips. So really like this, keeping that. This one from Ritual Defee. Okay, my sister ended up giving this one to me. It's a potted lip balm and it is quite pigmented and it's almost more of like a berry shade. It's not quite the same as like the fig shade. I just never ever ever find myself wanting to reach for this. It's a nice formula just because of the pigmentation though. I just don't see myself getting use out of this. And again, the panner in me is like, oh, I should just keep this because it's a lip balm, I could finish it. But I think it's time to let that one go. I have two of these from Bare Minerals. This is the Dewy Lip Gloss Balm. I guess maybe I should have included these with my lip glosses. This is what I'm saying, you guys. It's hard to figure out like where to put some of these. So this one is in the shade Friendship, which is a really beautiful kind of nude shade. And then most recently they sent over the shade Dream, which is just kind of a clear, similar to like the YSL Candy Glaze. I'm gonna keep both of these for right now. I think they're a nice comfortable formula. I have no reason to declutter them, so I'm gonna keep those. Then I can go through my Lawless Forget the Filler Balm Sticks. So I have the shade Candy Girl, which is a fun sort of pink. Again, I've been into pinks this year, so I do want to keep Candy Girl. Then I have the shade Sweetie, which I've used the most of. Sweetie is a really fun kind of nudie shade. Makes sense why I've gotten the most use out of that. And then finally I have the shade Cherry Vanilla. And I will say I don't love Cherry Vanilla as much as I like these two. So I'm gonna let Cherry Vanilla go. I'd rather just reach for the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Gloss in Cherry Vanilla over the balm stick. So I'm gonna let this one go. Okay, I think I'm gonna get a couple more out of the way that we all know I'm not decluttering. And it is my Ole Henriksen Pout Preserves. I've already gone through three of these this year, maybe two, and I'm gonna almost be through my third. I'm like halfway or a little over halfway through Blood Orange too. This is my favorite lip treatment. It's glossy like a lip gloss, but it feels hydrating like a lip treatment. I recently bought Vanilla Bonbon. I haven't put that on my lips yet. I even like the sparkly ones. The sparkly ones have like a super subtle sparkle. My only complaint with these is some of the Ole Henriksens, the taste and scent is very noticeable. It's very off-putting in the Blood Orange. Honestly, it's very noticeable. What are the other ones that, oh, I have used two this year. The original one is like kind of orangey, and then there's not cocoa creme. This is cocoa creme. Oh my gosh, there's another one. Anyway, the chemical taste can be a little bit much. I don't really notice it in cocoa creme or the Ligonberry. Like these two aren't off-putting to me. Blood Orange is not good. Like I love this shade. Would not buy this one again though, simply because the scent and taste is so off-putting to me. And then I actually haven't used Vanilla Bonbon yet. These I'm obviously going to continue to be using and repurchasing. I love these. They're not going anywhere. Let's see. Should we try and get through all of my squeezy tubes just because we're there? I have two from Lanolips. I have the Raspberry Sorbet and the Banana Balm. I do really like the Lanolips ointment. It's very, very thick. So not necessarily something that I'm reaching for during the day, but at night, or if I'm commuting in the car, or if I'm just sitting at the desk, whatever it might be, I really enjoy this. I will say the Banana Balm Sheen 3-in-1, very chemically as well, but I struggled to declutter just because it is such a good lip treatment. but I would never buy this scent or shade again. I honestly don't love the raspberry one either. The one I like the most, there's like a donut one that I actually really liked, but I'm going to keep both of these. They're great lip treatments. I'm also going to keep the topical one. This is the Slick Salve in Acai. I am interested in the peach one. This is a very nourishing, hydrating lip balm as well. There's the Acai shade. It is obviously a pretty pigmented shade. This one I feel like I have to just keep an eye on when I first apply it, but then I don't really worry about it. It is kind of that berry color that I've really been enjoying for like the winter time. This is another really nice lip treatment that I would continue to buy. Maybe not even necessarily the shade, but like the clear one. Beautiful formula, really does hydrate the lips, so that I'm gonna keep. I am gonna keep both of my Milk Makeup Balmades. I like these, but I don't think that these hydrate the lips like some of the other ones that I've just talked about, so I wouldn't necessarily purchase these again, but I will use them. And I have the shades Juiced and Refresher. Juiced reminds me of like a packet of Kool-Aid, and then Refresher really does remind me of like a strawberry refresher. I just don't find these to be as hydrating as I wanted them to be. Again, I will still use those, so those are gonna stay. Okay, these two I don't love. This is the Glossier balm.com. I don't love the reformulated version of this because I feel like it just kind of, oh yeah, it just like sits on the lip. It's like a moussey whipped balmy texture, and it's not something that stays in the lip lines. Even my daughter had like taken this and was using this, and then she was like, I just don't think I like this, Mom, because I just can't trust it. So Decluttering, Glossier balm.com. I wish they would bring back their original formula because it was so good and so hydrating. And then I'm also going to declutter the Glow Recipe Glass Balm. I have Strawberry Bingsu. This is extremely gritty. Even my daughter was like, Mom, there's like bumps in this. You can't really see when it's swatched out. I just do not think this is a good formula. I couldn't even tell you if it's hydrating because it's so annoying on the lips that like I just want to take it off. So I'm not going to keep this. I'm going to declutter that. I'm also going to declutter this mini Tower 28 Lip Softy. I recently got this in an advent calendar. I don't like the Tower 28 Lip Softy formula. I find it to be gritty. I find it to be annoying to apply. I don't find it to be long lasting. And I also don't find it to be hydrating. So I will be passing that along probably. I'll see if my daughter wants this one. I have the Naturium Phyto Glow Lip Balm in the shade Latte. I am going to keep this. I do like these from Phytosurgeons. I don't think they're the most hydrating. And the packaging is really, really annoying. If it gets too cold, even like sitting room temperature, sometimes it's hard to squeeze the product out. I've actually broken the packaging on one of these trying to squeeze the product out. But when it does want to work, it is a really beautiful lip gloss product. Again, perfect hybrid between a balm and a lip gloss. Not quite as hydrating as like the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve, but still does offer hydration and comfort to my lips throughout the day. I'm gonna keep that. I'm also gonna keep the Cali Ray Glazed and Infused Plumping Glassy Lip Trip. I have the shade Taco Tuesday. I find this to be more of just like a squeeze tube balm. It is a really beautiful nude. I find it to be comfortable on the lips, maybe not really hydrating, but a nice glossy sort of formula. So I'm gonna keep that. I will also keep the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm. I have this one in the shade Vanilla Beige. I've gone through 2 minis of the Summer Fridays, which I do feel like the mini version of the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm is more gritty than the full size. I don't know what it is, but that is just my personal experience. Actually, you know what? My daughter loves the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm, and I'm just gonna declutter this to her. Unless it's like a really special scent or shade, I just don't really care about the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm. Again, I much prefer the Ole Henriksen, so I'd rather just give this to my daughter and let her finish that one. I am definitely keeping these. Oh wait, I'm not through my squeeze tubes. Okay, I have this one from Tula. This is the Lip SOS. I feel like I've kind of been forcing this one. This is in Blushing Lemonade, although the shade is really pretty. Yeah, the shade is really pretty. No, maybe I will keep that one. It is like a really nice formula. I just feel like, do you see my packaging? I feel like I've just kind of been like forcing this one, but this would be a good one to just bring to work to have on hand and try and finish up that way. I'm gonna keep that. And then my last squeezy tube is this one from Rhode Beauty. It's the Peptide Lip Tint. This one was, I think, Lemon Teeny. Yes. This has a bit of like glitter or shine to it, which I didn't realize right away. I don't even know if it'll pick up on camera at all. I can feel the grit from this, but it feels, it almost feels like it's pilling. It's a weird sensation. Not my favorite. I'm definitely going to use this up, but I would feel no need to go buy another Rhode Peptide lip treatment. Again, my Ulla Henriksen is really where it's at for like a squeeze tube lip treatment. So I'll keep that, but I wouldn't buy again. These two Fresh Sugar lip balms, I'm going to declutter both. They're both just too pigmented for me to trust, and they get outside my lip lines. And I've been trying to force it and just use these up like while at home, and it's just, I'm forcing it. So I'm gonna let that one go. I'm also gonna let this one go. This is in the shade, I almost said this is in the shade Drug Facts because it says Drug Facts at the bottom. What shade is this? Sugar Velvet? I don't know, but it's a very purple, very berry sort of shade, and it just looks ridiculous when I wear this on the lips. Okay, definitely keeping these two from Too Faced. I recently purchased this. It's the Too Faced Pillow Balm, and I've really been enjoying this. It gives like a bit of a minty sensation, but it's kind of similar to the Lawless Overnight Lip Plumping Mask, where it has that sort of like lip filler, minty, tingly sensation, but it still feels hydrating on the lips. And I really enjoy both of these shades. I think this is a really fun kind of purple berry for this time of year. And again, I've been loving a pink sparkly lip, so love both of those. I'm gonna keep those. I am going to declutter this. I got this in an advent calendar last year, and this is, well, actually this might be like straight up, kind of dried out. It kind of gives like a nice glaze to the lips, but I hate the packaging, and I would definitely be forcing this one. That one's gonna go. I have this Kaja Balmy Bento lip balm. So this is like a duo. You have a lip balm on top, and then you have a lip scrub on the bottom. I am gonna keep this. I should use this more. I really should put this in my desk to remind myself to use this more. I actually had this at work for the longest time, but I wasn't getting use out of it at work. I think I get more use out of it if I put it on my desk here. So that's gonna stay. And that just brings me to these two cute little lip balm mushroom shaped things. So with this, the applicator on this, you basically like scrape the balm out on the side and then put it on your lips. And then it's a pretty opaque pigmented balm. It feels comfortable on the lips, but it's again one of those things I feel like I kind of have to baby just because of how pigmented it is. But I do really think these are like the cutest little things. Like I want them for display, but I'm not actually going to use the product. I would see if my daughter would want to use these though. So I'm going to declutter them, but if she doesn't want to use them, then I would clean the packaging out and keep these for display. But I'm not going to use the product inside, so I'm going to consider this a declutter. And so that means of all the lip treatments, of all 38, we are decluttering 11 and keeping 27, which 27 is a lot. Lip treatments is another thing that I feel like I need to like finish. Like I feel like I'm down to 27. I feel like I need to get down to like 20 before I allow myself to buy any more. That's a lot of lip treatments to go through, but I do think I'll finish. I could maybe finish this before the end of the year. I do think I will finish this before the end of the year, so like we can work our way through some things. The rest of these I'm like, can we though? Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for the lip balm portion of all right, we are gonna kick off this declutter with my lip liner collection, and I currently have 35 lip liners, which I have definitely been wearing lip liner a lot more. I do enjoy wearing lip liner just about every single day. However, I've only finished 2 lip liners this year, and both of them had a pretty good head start on them, so I definitely don't need 35. I still think I'm gonna struggle to declutter, and I'm gonna start on this side because I think this side might be a little bit more difficult for me to declutter, and then hopefully we'll end strong. But I do love a nude lip, so we are gonna start with my Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat. This is an iconic nude, and I almost wonder, should I do this for my swatches? There's Iconic Nude, just a really beautiful kind of neutral brown nude. I do really enjoy the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat formula. I feel like it's extremely long lasting yet still easy to apply. It's actually one of my favorite lip liner formulas, so I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna try and zoom you guys in just a little bit more. I also might not have these in perfect shade order, so bear that in mind. The second one I have to swatch here is one of my newest to my collection. This one is from Singe Beauty, and this one is in the shade, I believe, Brazen Birch. Another really beautiful brown nude. This one is actually maybe a little bit more warm than the one from Charlotte Tilbury. Keeping both of those. Another favorite, I have the Freck Makeout Club lip liner. This one is in the shade 1. There's that one. Again, another brown nude, but still slightly different than the rest. And I have this one from Glossier. This is my favorite from Glossier. This is in the shade Buff. Glossier's lip liner formula is actually so good. It's really creamy to apply, but it is so long lasting. Another brownie nude. I would say maybe most similar to the Iconic Nude from Charlotte Tilbury, but this one is actually darker, and this one does read a bit darker on the lips. Keeping that one as well. Another favorite formula is the Makeup by Mario formula, the Ultra Suede Sculpting Lip Pencil. This one is in the shade Dimitri. That one's a little bit more cool toned. It almost has a little bit more like pinky nude to it. I'm keeping a lot right off the bat, which I knew. That's why we started on this side. Okay, I also like the Fenty Beauty lip liner formula. I find this to be extremely creamy, yet when it sets down, it really does set down and stay all day. This is in the shade Peanut Butter. I really like this one. I'm definitely interested in more of the Fenty Beauty lip liners. This one's obviously staying. Next, we have the shade Strip Down from MAC. MAC is a classic. MAC has a bit more of a stiffer formula, but it is very long lasting. Again, slightly different from the rest, but maybe most close to the Freck one. Still keeping all of them. One of my new very, very favorites is from Bella Beauté Bar. The names of these aren't on it, so this is either Portal or Wormhole. I'm not exactly sure which one. This one's definitely more cool toned than the majority of these. It's probably most close to, I don't know which one. I think this was the Makeup by Mario one. Actually, those are quite similar. I like both, so I'm keeping both, but in case you have Dimitri from Makeup by Mario, or maybe if you had your eye on Dimitri from Makeup by Mario, either Wormhole or Portal. Again, I'm not exactly sure which shade this is. I wish the name was on this. I again find this to be a very long lasting formula, but it is pretty creamy to apply. Again, I'm very impressed with these from Bella Beauté Bar. Okay, now we're getting into a formula that I am not the biggest fan of, and it is the Lawless Forget the Filler. I can't remember if I decluttered these last year or if I was still thinking about them last year. Regardless, they ended up back in my collection if I did declutter them last year. I find this formula to be way too creamy, and it just like slips and slides out my lip lines. So this one right here is in the shade Cinnamon, and honestly this is just not a type of shade I would reach for. It's a little bit more red toned than I would typically go for, so I'm gonna declutter Cinnamon. Then I have Velvet Peach. All right, and Velvet Peach is not very peachy. It's definitely more pink, maybe more of like a peachy pink. Now, part of me is like curious about this just because I have been more into pink lips. I'm gonna set this in the maybe pile for right now. Again, it's not my favorite formula, but I'm curious if there's another pink that's kind of close to that. I have this one from Jante Blue or Jante Blue. This is a really beautiful shade, but this one is definitely starting to smell off. So I am gonna declutter this one. It's in the shade 935 Dark Natural. Then I have the shade Nude Honey from Lawless. This is my favorite of all the shades, but I honestly feel like this one's so close to so many of these. And again, it's just not my favorite formula, so I actually probably can let go of Nude Honey. Then I have the e.l.f. Baddest Beige lip liner. I really like the e.l.f. lip liner formula as well. I really like the shade Baddest Beige. As you can tell, it kind of goes along with many of my other lip liners. And these are like $2.99. I am going to keep Baddest Beige. I also love the Makeup Forever lip liner formula. I have two deluxe sizes. So I have the shade Wherever Walnut, I believe. Sorry, this one is Anywhere Caffeine. And actually Anywhere Caffeine is one that I like even just a little bit better than Wherever Walnut. Probably because I prefer, I don't know, I was gonna say maybe more of that brownie tone. Wherever Walnut reads slightly more pink on my lips. regardless, I do really love both. Honestly, I would repurchase both of these shades when I finish them. So both of these are gonna stay. I am also gonna keep the one from Merit. This is in Archival or Archival. I can never remember what it is. This is a very, very creamy formula, yet I do find it to be quite long lasting on the lips. It's really interesting. I don't necessarily know that I would like seek out more of these, but also I like am shocked by how much I do enjoy this one. Anyway, I'm gonna keep this one from Merit. Then I have one left from e.l.f. This is in the shade Mauve. This is the Love Triangle Lip Filler Liner. And I really like this shade. It's more of like a cool toned, kind of mauve-y brownie pink. I think it's beautiful on the lips, and I actually find this one to be quite long lasting as well. For a crayon, it's a little bit more tuggy, but it's still easy to apply, and I do feel like it lasts on the lips. All right, next up we have ColourPop Oh Snap. As you can tell, mine's starting to do that ColourPop thing where the crayon kind of comes out a little bit, but it's still usable, and I do really like that shade. How close is that to the e.l.f. one though? The e.l.f. one is maybe more cool toned, and this has a little bit more pinkiness to it. They're kind of close, but not quite the same. I'm gonna keep Oh Snap. I am gonna keep Oh Snap. I'm sorry, I know this is not a very exciting declutter thus far. Then I have either, I think this is Portal, but I have either Wormhole or Portal. This is my most used so far from Bella Beauté Bar. I love that that is a more cool toned, kind of purpley mauve. Pretty close again to, I'm just curious, pretty close again to the one from ColourPop, but this one maybe even has a little bit more purple to it. I am gonna keep that one as well. Okay, wiped my arm off for the latter half. I know we're not doing well at all. Next I have MAC Whirl, which is another classic. This one is a little bit more of like a brownie pinky nude. Again, I do like a brownie pinky nude. I'm gonna keep that one. I also have the NYX Peekaboo Neutral. That one has a little bit more pink to it. I'm gonna swatch that next to that Lawless Velvet Peach. Okay, those are definitely not the same, but I would rather reach for the NYX over something like the Lawless. So the Lawless that was in the Maybe, the Velvet Peach, I'm going to declutter. I do really enjoy this one from e.l.f. This is in Pinky Swear. Don't have a ton of more pinky shades, at least I don't think that I do. And this one is like my go-to neutral pink lip liner, so I'm gonna keep that one. Then from Huda Beauty, I have the Lip Contour in Muted Pink. This one is very dried out. Like, this just needs to make its way to the trash, as you can see. So this one is going to be decluttered. From Glossier, I have the shade Bit. That one is definitely a lot darker and more cool toned. I don't feel like I have a lot like that. I'm gonna keep Bit just because I don't think I have a lot or really anything else quite like that dark. From Lawless, I have the shade Pink Sand, which looks like that. Oh, that one is kind of pretty. I don't think I have a lot like Pink Sand, and I feel like I actually would really enjoy that. The only thing is it's such a creamy formula. I'm gonna keep that one for right now. This one from Makeup by Mario, I'm definitely gonna keep. This is in the shade Pink Peony, I believe. Yes, I feel like this one is really unique to my collection. It's kind of almost like a light lavender fuchsia sort of pink. I think that one is really, really fun. Then I have Rosewood from Lawless. Rosewood is kind of similar to the one that I'm keeping from Glossier. Again, I don't love the Lawless formula, and as we get even darker, like, makes me even more nervous just because I feel like this formula does not stay in the lip lines. So I'm going to declutter that one. I'm also going to, or this one is in Pink Slip. Sorry, let me swatch that one first. Oh, I do like the shade of Pink Slip. Wait, let me swatch Pink Slip next to, I want to swatch Pink Slip next to the e.l.f. one. Okay, they're not the same. I do kind of like the shade of that one. I think, okay, I actually think I'm gonna keep this one for right now. Then I'm like, do I need both of these? Maybe I think I like Pink Slip better than I do Pink Sand. That's Pink Slip. That's Pink Sand. Okay, I want to swatch Wherever Walnut next to Pink Sand, as well as MAC Whirl. Okay, they're not quite the same. Why am I so torn on these? Then I'm like, maybe I don't need this one. Why am I so torn? Okay, ultimately, actually, I think I'm gonna keep Pink Sand, which is this one. Even though, maybe that is super close to Wherever Walnut. Okay, I'm gonna declutter Pink Sand. I just really don't love the formula of the Lawless. I'm gonna keep Pink Slip for right now, because I do like that shade and I don't feel like I have anything quite like that. Next I have also from Lawless the shade Desert Mauve. By the way, Lawless did send the entire range to me. That's why I have all of the colors. Okay, there is Desert Mauve. I definitely don't need Desert Mauve. I'm curious how Desert Mauve is gonna look next to the Bare Minerals shade that I have. This one is in Striking Spice. Not super similar actually at all. I've kept Striking Spice, but I just don't necessarily see myself reaching for a shade this warm. It is almost like a warm, like cinnamon brown. I actually think I might declutter the Bare Minerals one. The Bare Minerals one is also quite creamy and I don't feel like that one sets down the best either. Then I have from Lawless, I have the shade True Love, which is like a true blue toned red, which I think is really pretty. However, again, just because it is such a slippery formula, I feel like I can't keep that one. I did buy the Makeup Forever one for a red, and this one is definitely a lot more long lasting. Maybe not quite as like classic red, but paired with like a classic red lipstick, you really can't tell the difference. So I'm gonna declutter the Lawless and obviously keep the Makeup Forever. I also have this one from Makeup by Mario. This is in the shade Flame Red, and this one is more of like an orangey red, which I do love a fun orange lip in the summer, which is why I wanted to buy this one. So I'm definitely going to be keeping that. Then from Lawless, we have this really dark one. This is in Honey Rose. There is Honey Rose, a very, very cool toned shade. I actually think this is a really beautiful shade. It's just, again, I can't trust this lip liner to stay in the lip lines. So I'm gonna declutter that one. And then finally, I have the shade Root for Me from MAC, which is a really deep, vampy, kind of brown shade. I actually really enjoy having this to pair with the Fig House Labs lip gloss, hybrid lip gloss. I'm definitely gonna keep this. I clearly don't have anything quite like this in my collection. Okay, don't feel like we did great with lip liners, although we are decluttering 11, so we are getting rid of over 10 lip liners, and that leaves us with 24 lip liners. I do feel like I need to like halt purchasing any new lip liners, specifically in a nude shade. Like, it has to be a very unique shade to my collection, and it has to be something I think I'll get a lot of use out of for me to buy another lip. Like, I really feel like we should really cool it on lip liners for a while until I'm able to get through a couple. And like I said, I do not need any more nude brown lip liners, but keeping 24, decluttering 11. All right, you guys, we are on to the lipstick section of today's declutter. I have 35 bullet lipsticks. Well, I'm counting this as a bullet lipstick too, but 35 bullet lipsticks. And for this section of the video, I'm going to put everything on my lips to see how it looks. I tried to do a very neutral look. I feel like I'm getting a weird shadow here. But my daughter is sitting off camera and she's gonna let me know what she thinks should stay versus what should go. So we have a live judge to let us know what we're gonna be doing for this declutter. I would kindly ask that the judge turn their video down. Okay, I'm gonna start with this NARS lip crayon. This is in the shade Bettina. It's the Velvet Matte Lip Pencil. I do really like this product, so I do think I'll end up keeping this. It's just kind of like a Your Lips but better sort of lipstick. I feel like my lips are already dry and irritated, so I can't even imagine what they're gonna be like at the end of this. Okay, I feel like I need to like zoom you guys in a little bit, get you closer. All right, this is NARS Bettina, just like, again, a very Your Lips But Better. I say I want to keep this. Zoe, what do you say? This stay or go?
Let's go.
Don't say go just because I say go.
No, I don't like it. It's so weird.
What's weird about it?
It's just way too plain.
It's a lipstick.
No, to me.
No, Zoe.
I'm the judge.
Zoe, I want to keep this one. I can overrule you.
I'm not the judge anymore.
Yes, you are. You promise.
You're just gonna...
I'm paying you for today's video.
I thought you gave me your book yesterday.
I paid you in advance, so you have to do the video. I'm overruling the judge on this. I'm keeping this. All right, we're gonna move on to all of my Lawless lipsticks. Lawless did send me over their entire range last year, and so I have them all. So,
Lawless, no hate if I say no and they're ugly.
Zoe says Lawless, no hate if she says no. I have no idea. I don't have these like sorted into any specific like colors. So we're gonna start with this shade, Morocco, which looks like a really pretty shade, but definitely a little bit deeper. This formula is definitely more hydrating. What do they consider this? I don't know what they consider this. If it's like a satin matte, I'd probably call it a satin matte. Don't judge my lip lines. Again, I'm not wearing a lip liner. Like, is this one already starting to smell like it's going off? Maybe not. Okay, there's Morocco. Definitely a little bit darker. I kind of like this. The face Zoe's giving me is a not like. What don't you like about it?
It's so plain.
Zoe, they're lipsticks. They're gonna be plain.
No, Mom. We gotta get that one out of this collection.
Okay, I do like this one. I
hate
don't have another lipstick quite like
but
this.
it's so dry.
They're all gonna be dryish.
No, but like it's such an ugly color.
I think this is a pretty color.
No, Mom, you
Zoe,
can't always overrule.
Okay, I can't say that on my channel. I'm overruling and we're keeping Morocco. I like this one. Also, the Vikings are playing so bad today. I'm literally filming while the game is on mute. Normally, I would never be disrespectful in that way, but I'm just so disappointed in my team. All right, next up we have Platinum. I don't think I'm gonna like Platinum because Platinum looks like concealer lips. We'll see what the judge has to say. Should I even keep putting this on?
No, that's a waste. I tried putting that on and I hated it.
Oh, wow. That looks so bad. Also, just like look how bad my lips look.
What the heck? Lawless, no offense, but... Lawless,
Okay, but then I put this on.
You kind of sucked with that color.
Okay, but then I put this on and I'm like, but with a lip. It could be something that I keep to put in the center of the lips.
Mom, you have to listen to me.
You're right, I never would do it. Okay, okay.
Ew.
This is a declutter.
No, let me put it over there.
Okay, but hold on, I have to do a count up at the end, okay? So keep track. The shade, I kind of like Platinum if I were to put it just on the center.
No, Mom.
Platinum's getting decluttered. All right, what do we have next? Next we have the shade Daisy Girl, which is a pink. There it is swatched right there. Dang, I'm gonna need to exfoliate the lips tonight. There's Daisy Girl. What do you think? I don't know if it's my color.
Yeah.
I personally feel like I could find an excuse to keep everything though.
Mom,
but
that makeup is not matching with the lips. You look really bad. No offense.
But what if I want a pink at some point?
Mom, you're gonna go out looking like that with that.
No, I could do different makeup that needs a pink.
Yeah, bro, no offense, but none of that lipstick is gonna match your face.
What are we doing with Daisy Girl?
You go.
Go? I do kind of want a pink though. I'm vetoing that. I kind of want to keep a pink.
What's the point of being your assistant?
All right, next up that we have the shade Soft Truffle. Ooh, Soft Truffle looks like a shade I would like. All right, I can already tell my lips are getting irritated, but here is Soft Truffle. I do like that. I feel like that's a shade that, like, this is a type of lipstick. What do you think, Zoe? I kind of like this one. It's
I give up being your judge.
No, you have to still be the judge.
No, you're just gonna overrule me.
So it's like neutral makeup. What does it look bad? I don't think it looks bad. It's literally like Your Lips But Better. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one. The judge is getting mad. So I feel like you're like trying to be funny though, and you're gonna say not to keep anything.
Okay, fine. I'll be honest, but I was being honest.
Okay. Next up we have the shade Wedding Day, which I think is like a very nude sort of shade. Actually I could see myself liking Wedding Day. Oh yeah, Wedding Day is a pretty nude. You don't like Wedding Day? Maybe I don't.
Wedding Day.
That's what this is called.
Oh.
Okay, I don't wear lipsticks, that's much. I feel like I need to listen to the judge on something. I do kind of like this.
No.
It's like more of a cool toned.
Lawless, you are doing so good.
All right, okay, I'll allow it.
No, this could be for other people, Lawless, just not for my mom.
Okay, Wedding Day is getting the boot. All right, next up I have the shade Annie. I don't think I'm gonna like this. If I'm remembering correctly, this is like a, yeah, this is like a very warm nude. So should I even put this one on? I'll put it on.
Ew, no.
Yeah, I don't think that's my shade at all. Just like a warm nude pink peach. Looks really bad. Yeah, this one is getting decluttered. Next up, we have the shade Daisy Girl, which I swear I already swatched. I definitely did. Do I have two Daisy Girls? Oh, I do. Okay, well, I guess I don't need both, so I'll declutter one of the Daisy Girls. Wait, can I trade for one of the ones? Can I trade for... I traded for Wedding Day because I wanted to keep Wedding Day. All right, next up we have the shade Tropic, which is kind of like a warm rosy pink. I don't know this is gonna be my shade either. Yeah, for me personally, I don't think this is my shade, but let me ask the judge. Is that a no? All right, Tropic is getting decluttered. Next up we have the shade Fawn. Fawn actually looks like a shade I would really like, just like a nudie pinky brown. And I know my lips are already like kind of irritated, so I feel like outside my lip lines is kind of irritated. Okay, this is Fawn. Maybe I don't love this, like it's fine. I think maybe I like Wedding Day more than this, and those two. Here's Fawn, here's Wedding Day. I feel like maybe that's similar enough. And I reach for bullet lipsticks so infrequently, I probably don't need to keep this. I don't know, what do you think of this one? No? If I did a lip gloss with it, it'd be cute. Should I keep it?
Yes.
Wow, okay. The first one the judge actually said to keep, I feel like I should keep. All right, next up we have the shade Cookie, which is this brown right here. Yeah, that is not my favorite, I don't think. So what do you think of this one?
Honestly, yeah, it's cute.
You like this one? I mean, it definitely is different. Well, I guess the judge says to keep it, so we must listen. Keeping Cookie. All right, then we have the shade Femme, which is kind of more of like a mauve-y, pinky sort of shade. Okay, Femme is really pretty. Zoe, what do you think of Femme? You like this one? I do too. Okay, we are gonna keep Femme. That makes me think maybe I don't need Daisy Girl though. I'm gonna put Daisy Girl, which is swatched right here, in the maybes. And then finally, the last Lawless lipstick I have to swatch is in the shade Minx, which is kind of like a darker, almost like berry sort of shade. Again, ignore how irritated my lips are. Oh, I actually really like Minx a lot. So what do you think of this one?
Too dark.
Too dark. I like this one. I'm keeping it. Okay, that's everything I have for the Lawless lipsticks. I have two remaining Tarte lipsticks. I have one that I lost the sticker on, so I don't even know what shade this is. These are getting quite old. They don't smell, but I have that shade right there, which I don't know what the name is, which kind of looks really similar to, I think this was Cookie. Let me swatch Cookie to see. Yeah, there's Cookie swatched from Lawless versus whatever Tarte Rainforest one is. I feel like those are close enough. I don't need to keep both. And the Tarte one is just so old. I'm gonna declutter this one. And then I also have the shade Beach Babe, which is a very nude shade. I really miss Tarte Rum Punch so much. I'm gonna see how this one looks swatched. I need to also keep in mind, oh my gosh, this formula, I forget how comfortable this formula is. I need to also keep in mind how little I wear bullet lipsticks. Oh, but I do like Beach Babe for a more nudie lip. Again, Ignore how absolutely irritated my lips are. So what do you think of Beach Babe?
What the freak is that?
You don't like this?
No, ew. What the heck? Plain and boring? No, no.
But so, sometimes a nude plain boring
it's
is...
so bad. Mom, what is that? It's basically the one Lawless made.
I have these two lipsticks that I believe I got from C Beauty Mall last year. I think both are more like balmy. There's one from, I think this is You Hue. Oh, this one makes me nervous just because it's such a glossy formula that I don't know that it would stay in the lip lines. I don't think I love that. Zoe, what do you think of this one?
Ooh,
You like this one? I don't like this one.
I don't.
What do you like about it? Because it's more glossy?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Do you want this one? If I declutter it? Well, if you don't, then you don't actually like it.
But I do, but I don't want it.
I just don't see myself using this one that much. It is really comfortable though. And actually maybe it does stay in the lip lines. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile. Then I have this one from Joycey, which also looks very similar, like very similar to the one that I just swatched. This is again more of that like glossy balmy sort of formula. And this one is maybe even a little bit darker and a little bit more slippy.
Yes! Oh my gosh, yes! That one's so pretty.
We are not on the same
Fine,
path.
fine, give it to me. We'll decline it.
I think I am going to declutter this one just because I don't trust this one as much as the You Hue one to like stay in the lip lines, although this shade is quite pretty. Do you like this one?
I do.
Okay, I'll keep it. Part of me kind of want to keep this You Hue, kind of wants to keep the one from You Hue too. But do you see, is this getting outside my lip lines? I'm going to keep it for now. I'm going to keep both of them. Actually, I'm going to put both of them in the maybes and we're going to see how well we continue to do. Ah, that was pretty. Okay. I feel like I need to pick one or the other. I'm going to keep the You Hue one because I feel like this will stay in the lip lines better, and I will declutter the Joycey Beauty one. All right, speaking of more like balm type of lipsticks, again, these probably could have gone in balms too. This is the NARS Afterglow Sensual Lip Shine lipstick. I have the shade Breathless, which is a nude. This probably is not going to look the best just because my lips are so irritated. I do like this formula. I just don't think it's worth in the $30. This is Breathless. It usually doesn't look quite this warm. It's just my lips are so irritated underneath. It is such a comfortable formula though. I'm going to keep it, but let me get the judge's opinion. So what do you think of this one? It's pretty. Okay, well, we're going to keep that one. And then I also have the shade On Edge, which is a really fun, brighter kind of orangey red. And I do love lip shades like this for the summer. I definitely should have reached for this more this summer. Yeah, I really, really love this shade. I think it's so fun. And it is actually such a comfortable lip product. So what do you think of this one? I got approval to keep this one too. That one's gonna stay. I have another kind of fun orangey shade in like a similar formula. This is Fenty Tang Tang. I don't even know if they make... I know that they have like made, or they're making like lip glossy lipsticks again from Fenty, but I don't know if they got rid of the like makeout formula. Mine still smells normal. It's very similar to that one that I just swatched. I would love to finish this one this year. Let me see how much I have left. Still a significant amount. It still smells like a vanilla cupcake though. What do you think of this one?
That's cute.
Oh, I got it. That's cute. Okay, this one will stay. All right, I have this one from Flower Nose. This one kind of reminds me of, yeah, it really does remind me of the two other ones that I swatched from like You Hue and Joycey, except for this one is more of like a burnt reddish cinnamon. I honestly don't even really love that shade. I'm not really gonna bother putting this one on my lips. I am going to just be decluttering that one. I have two What's Up Beauty lipsticks. I have the shades Seba and Ank. Seba I really, really like. This one is a really beautiful kind of cooler toned, mid-toned mauve. My lips look so irritated. I'm definitely keeping Seba. This reminds me of the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea formula. It's just so comfortable on the lips. And I do really, really enjoy this shade. So that will stay. All right, the other shade that I have is Amp. This is like more of a reddy shade. Okay, there's that shade. I actually do feel like that's pretty unique to anything else that I have kept. I do actually really like that shade. What do you think, Zoe? Feel like a fun red? We're getting a nod of approval to keep that. Okay, I have this one from Milk Makeup. This is so old. This is in the shade Cream. I really should declutter this because this is so old. There it is swatched right there. It's just such a pretty pink. I just never reach for bullet lipstick. I gotta declutter it. It's so old. I am gonna declutter this. I'm not even gonna bother swatching. I'm not even gonna tempt myself by being like, oh, I kind of like this. We're just gonna let that one go. I have 2 Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. I have one of the, oh my gosh, one of these ones. This was in JK Magic. This formula is a little bit glossier. Again, my lips look so irritated. Usually I actually feel like this looks a little bit warmer on my lips. I think for sure I'll keep this just because the packaging I really do love. So what do you think of this one? I knew Zoe was gonna like that one. Keeping this for the packaging. Okay, I have then Very Victoria, which is one of my favorite lipstick shades of all time. I think for the sake of my lips, I might not swatch that just because I know I'm gonna keep it. And then same thing with the Milani Tease lipstick. This is one of my favorite lipsticks in my entire collection, and I'm not gonna swatch that one just for the sake of my lips already being so irritated, and I know I'm gonna keep that. I have the Natasha Denona lipstick, and I need a new, this is Amrosa. I don't think I'll swatch this one on the lips either just because I know I'm gonna keep that one. There it is swatched right there. It's a very beautiful kind of cooler toned pinky nude. It actually does kind of remind me of, I think this was Wedding Day from Lawless. And I do, actually let me see if I'm accurate in that. No, Wedding Day is definitely lighter. Okay, well, I am gonna keep this one from Natasha Denona. I do think this is a really pretty shade too. I'm not gonna swatch the one because my lips hurt. I am gonna swatch Truffle Tease from Maybelline. I feel like maybe I don't need this one. I know it's not exactly the same as some of my others, but I do feel like it's pretty close to, yeah, I don't feel like I need to keep this. I feel like it's pretty close to Tartelette Tease, or sorry, not Tartelette, Milani Tease. And so I just don't need to keep both. So I'm gonna declutter that one. Then I have this one from MAC, which I don't know that I could declutter because I do love the marbled packaging on this, but I never wear this shade. This is a very concealer lippy sort of shade. This one is definitely starting to smell off though.
I thought I was your judge.
Yeah, we're gonna see what the judge says on this one. She's giving me that look.
Freak is that?
Okay, this actually smells like Play-Doh on the lips too. I feel like I need to just be okay letting this go. This is getting the boot. We're gonna just declutter that. Wipe this on the lips and never look back, or wipe this off the lips. All right, I've got this one from Bite Beauty. This is in the shade Orange Fizz. This is also very old. Oops, got a little on the nose. This one doesn't smell weird though. Although, oh, that's so bright. I feel like because I am keeping both the NARS and the orange one from Fenty, maybe I shouldn't keep this just because it is so old. That's very orange as well. Let's see what the judge has to say. Judge? She's laughing. I guess that's a sign it's time to declutter that one. I have really enjoyed that though in the past.
Ew. You enjoyed that? That's so bright.
It is very bright. Okay, yeah, because I shouldn't have done that one because my lips are literally stained red, which is really going to inhibit the rest of this. Thankfully, I only have 4 left. Okay, and the last 4 that I have are all from Merit. I think I have 3 different formulas. So I have their signature lip, and this one is in the shade Sunday, which is a pink. Ugh, it's not going to swatch right, I feel like, on my lips right now. Okay, I feel like this is showing up a little bit more pink than it normally would just because my lips underneath. But I actually do really like the shade Sunday. It's very different than really anything else that I have in my collection. There it is swatched right there. And actually I feel like even though it's not anywhere close to the shade Daisy Girl, which actually might be swatched next to it right up here. Yeah, it is. I actually really like the shade Sunday. It's very different than really anything else that I have in my collection. I don't have a lot of pinks. So Zoe, what do you think of this? She said it's cute. We're keeping it. All right, then I have the shade Archival or Archival. I think it's Archival. You guys, I could be wrong. Oh yeah, we're just not gonna get, we're literally just not gonna get an accurate, I'm mad that I did this. So what do you think of this one? Okay, I don't know if this is gonna help us get a sense for what Archival looks like at all. There it is swatched right there. I do really like this one. Yeah, I don't know that we're getting an accurate depiction of Archival, but I am going to keep this one. I know that for sure. The other two shades that I have are Baby and 1999. And 1999 is very different than anything else that I have in my collection because it is like a brown. But I do want to keep this because I really have nothing like this. And I think it's fun to reach for from time to time. And then the last lipstick I have from Merit is in the shade Baby, which I also really, really like. It's just like a nude mauve-y sort of shade. But then I'm curious if this is similar to any of the Lawless ones that I kept. So I'm gonna wipe my arm off quick. Okay, just because I feel like I don't need to keep as many lipsticks as I currently have, I'm kind of swatching some of these side by side. Right here, I have Lawless Minx, and I have it swatched by the What's Up Beauty Seba. Those are pretty similar. This one's a little bit more opaque because this has a little bit more of a glossy formula. But just thinking of how little I reach for bullet lipsticks, I don't need to keep two that look this like close in shade. So I'm going to declutter Lawless Minx. I will still keep the Seba from What's Up Beauty. Then I also swatched Fawn and Wedding Day. Zoe didn't like either of them. So we'll settle and I will declutter one of them. I'm going to declutter Fawn because I'm more likely to reach for something a little bit more neutral or cool leaning. And so I will declutter Fawn. Okay, then I just swatched Baby next to Wedding Day and those are pretty similar. I suppose this one's a little bit more mid-toned. I think I'll keep the rest. I did decide I'm going to keep Daisy Girl just because I don't have anything that's this light pink and I do think that that could add some value to my collection. Okay, I also think that I just don't need to keep this one. I just don't see myself reaching for this formula. It's just, I already struggle to reach for bullet lipsticks, whether it be like glossy, matte, satin matte. So I am also going to declutter this one. And so with that, that means we are decluttering a total of 14 of my bullet lipsticks. And so that means that we are keeping a total of 21 bullet lipsticks, which honestly is probably still too much, but it feels a lot more manageable than we were at. I will say I've got to either use my bullet lipsticks next year or really cut this down again. I did not need to be buying any more bullet lipsticks, which I'm looking at this and I actually don't think I bought any of these. Like, I don't think I bought any bullet lipsticks this year, so that's a plus. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for this portion of the declutter. All right, you guys, we are on to the last section of this entire declutter series. We have all of my lip stains and liquid lipsticks. I believe I have 32 here, which is actually more than I thought I was gonna have. I've definitely been enjoying playing with color a little bit more on the lips, and I've been enjoying like a lip stain and a liquid lipstick that's more comfortable here and there. So I'm excited to go through this. There are definitely still some things that need to go, like my Dose of Colors, which is my favorite liquid lipstick formula. These are so old. These just really, unfortunately, are going to have to go, as well as some other things. So let's just jump right into it. I am going to declutter all 4 of my Dose of Colors liquid lipsticks. This actually does really pain me. I love the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick formula. In fact, I'd actually be curious if they have like a Black Friday sale. I would potentially be interested in possibly picking up just a couple of like more neutral shades. I actually like liquid lipsticks over a bullet lipstick. So if I had some liquid lipsticks in shades like that I have in lipstick shades, I can't speak, maybe I would declutter more of my lipsticks. Anyway, these are so old. I believe I got the majority of these in like 2016 or 2017. So they're well beyond their years. These are all gonna be decluttered. I really should declutter this one from YSL2. This is in the shade 22. This is also just such an old product, but I do really, really love that shade. And I don't have anything even close to this shade in my collection. Ugh, it really is kind of starting to smell like paint though. Like I really feel like I should let this go. It really does kind of smell like paint. I feel like I really should let this go. Oh, I wasn't planning to do that. That's painful. Okay. Both of my personas are actually pretty old as well. I'm gonna swatch. Okay, so I have Persona Holy Grail here, this red. I'm gonna swatch that next to my other like bright vibrant red liquid lipstick, which is this one from Melt. This is in the shade Thirst for Blood. Thirst for Blood. Oh, Thirst for Blood is definitely a little bit more of like a blue red, whereas this is more truly like a classic Hollywood red. I'm definitely keeping the Melt. Let me smell this one from Persona. Oh, that one still does kind of smell like vanilla cupcake. Okay, I'm comfortable keeping that one for now. And I do feel like those two are different. I am actually, just because we're swatching reds right now, I'm gonna swatch this one from NYX. This is the Smushy Matte Lip Balm. I really, really liked these like matte lip balms. Such an interesting texture. It stains like a liquid lipstick, kind of, but then it like is comfortable like a balm. I don't know. I really, 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 really enjoy these. I'm definitely keeping both of them. So I have the shade Sassy Stuff, which is the shade I just swatched right there. And then I have this pink in Sweet Smack. I actually would consider potentially buying more of these in the future. I obviously don't need to buy any right now, but that's just like a fun pink. And again, I have been having fun playing around with pinks this year, so I'm gonna keep both of those. I'm gonna put that down by my lip stains. Okay, I still have some like reds here. So I have this one from Kaleidos. I don't know what shade this is in. The Kaleidos formula is more of like a velvety formula. I think this shade is so pretty. It kind of reminds me of the MAC Over the Taupe shade. Over the Taupe is my favorite liquid lipstick shade. Oh, maybe it doesn't remind me of this one. I have one that's similar. I absolutely love Over the Taupe. It looks more brown swatched right there, but on the lips, it is like the perfect Your Lips But Better, but like a little bit deeper sort of shade. I think it's so pretty. I absolutely would buy this again when I finish that. So that's, I'm definitely keeping. I think I do want to keep this one from Kaleidos. I just got my Kaleidos ones last year, so they are like newer to my collection. Maybe this is the one that's similar to Over the Taupe. Kind of, but that's still more of like a brownie. Those are different enough. I feel like I can justify keeping both. Then I have this one, which is a much lighter nude. I actually don't love this shade on me, so I'm gonna let that one go. And then I'm gonna swatch Persona OG. I feel like I'm kind of close to being done with OG. OG is super, super close to that one from Kaleidos, but for some reason I just like the way that this one sits on my lips better. That one still smells okay as well. It still smells like a vanilla cupcake. Those are so similar to one another. I'm like, did I really not like this? I'm gonna keep the one from Persona just because I'm closer to finishing that one. Plus this is newer, so I'd actually feel like okay passing this along to someone else. So I will keep that. I will keep the Persona and then I will declutter the Kaleidos. I have this one from MAC. It's another Powder Kiss. This is in Make Love to the Camera, which is another kind of like darker berry tone shade. I think this is really pretty for holiday time. And you can kind of sheer this one out to be a little bit more like of a sheer berry if you want to. I think this pairs really beautifully with the Fig lip gloss from House Labs, and I really like that too. Kind of similar. I know these are kind of similar, but I literally bought this because I was just really into a shade like this, so I'm gonna keep this too. Actually, this one reminds me more of Over the Taupe, except for it has a little bit more of like mauviness to it. This is the Lip and Cheek Blush Tint from Kylie Cosmetics, and this is in the shade She's It. I think I bought this actually earlier this year. I really enjoyed this as well, so I'm definitely keeping that. And then I have my two ABH Lip Velvets, which I also really enjoyed this year. I have been having so much fun with this Blackberry shade. It is definitely deeper, but I think it's so fun. And it honestly like is not as intimidating as it looks swatched out. And then I also have the shade Pure Hollywood for a really beautiful nude shade. Sorry, I know I have not been swatching these in any sort of color order whatsoever. Okay, there is Pure Hollywood, which is a really beautiful kind of pinky nude. Just trying to look at I know those are definitely different. Just trying to decide if I truly need the Persona. I feel like maybe I should let the Persona go. Just because I like something more this tone. This is getting older. I think I'm also going to let the Persona go for this. I have this one from Rare Beauty. This is in the shade Courage. I don't even know if they make this formula anymore. It is, again, one of those like more velvety formulas. Kind of reminds me of Pure Hollywood, but it's a little bit darker. I just don't personally love this formula. I feel like it kind of like cakes up almost on the lips, and it's not my favorite. I actually just panned a mini this year, and I feel like it took me forever to pan. It's not super uncomfortable. It's just not a favorite. It is getting older in my collection. I feel like I can let that one go too. All right, then I have 2 lip stains from Fenty. I'm keeping both of these. I love both of these. I have Strawberry Sangria, which is a really fun, beautiful red. And then I also have Zesty Bestie, which is a really fun orange shade. I love both of these so much, and I actually reached for both of these a decent amount this year, so those 2 are gonna stay. My Kaja Love Swipes, I'm gonna let go of all of these. They're nice. They're more of like really thin kind of moussey texture. I just don't ever find myself wanting to reach for this over something else, although that is a really nice shade. Okay, hold on. The more you like layer these two, the more they like stain the lips. Okay, I do actually really like this shade, which is the shade 5, I'm Melting. Then I also have the shade Too Sweet Softy, which is, I mean, those two look very, very similar. I don't need both of them, but I think I'll keep the shade I'm Melting, which is the more like brownie of the 2. Then I also have the shade, oh, I have a backup of the shade Too Sweet Softy, which is the other one that I'm decluttering that. I'm definitely keeping my Benefit Plush tints. I have one of the moisturizing matte lip tints and 2 of the moisturizing dewy lip tints. I did have a second matte lip tint, but it went missing. This is the shade French Toast, which is a really beautiful kind of brownie sort of shade. Nice neutral nudie shade. I really, really enjoyed that. I'm like, does that look close enough to the Love Swipe that I don't need to keep both? Maybe. I just don't find myself ever reaching for the Love Swipe. I feel like I'd rather reach for like the Kylie Cosmetics. I think I'm gonna declutter this Love Swipe too. Anyway, I'm keeping French Toast. Then I have the shade 7 Tutti Frutti in the Dewy formula, which the Dewy formula is nice because it has a bit of glossiness to it. And this is another one that the more you layer it, the more it kind of stains. Which actually, not that these 2 are the same, but it is like a fun pink. So maybe I feel a little bit better about, I mean, I shouldn't feel guilty at all about getting rid of the YSL, which literally smells like paint, but I'm keeping Tutti Frutti. And then I also picked up this shade Honeymooners earlier this summer, which is more of like a, oh, kind of like a Your Lips, but better, but has like a little bit of warmth to it. It's a really beautiful, fun shade as well. Really, really enjoy the Benefit Plush Tint formula. So keeping all of those. And then I'm gonna try and wipe my hand off so we can swatch all of the What's Up Beauty liquid lipsticks together. Okay, did the best I could cleaning my hand off. This one on the end is actually a balm, so I probably should have included this in my balms. This is the Sophistisilk Balm, which I am going to keep. This is nice to put underneath liquid lipsticks. And then I have all of these shades. So I have the shade Caramel Veil, which actually that is kind of similar to the Persona, which we got rid of. It's just like a little bit warmer than I typically like my lip products, so I don't necessarily know that I need to keep that one. This one is in the shade Cashmere Muse. I will say I have really enjoyed reaching for this formula from What's Up Beauty. I think it's really nice. It's matte, but it's comfortable. It dries down really comfortably. I am definitely going to keep Cashmere Muse. I think that's a really beautiful nude pink. Then I have the shade Subtle Chic, which looks like that. It's a little bit more of like a rosier kind of mid-toned shade. I'm also going to keep this. I've really enjoyed that one. We have the shade Timeless Love, which I also really like for something even a little bit deeper. That one kind of has like that purple mauviness to it. And then finally I have the shade Lilac Lullaby, which is definitely not like an everyday reach for me. I don't have anything quite like that, but I also don't necessarily know that I would find myself reaching for this more than a couple of times a year. So I feel like I could let go the one on both ends and kind of keep the more like neutral shades. I'm gonna let go of Lilac Lullaby as well as the Caramel Veil from What's Up Beauty, and then we will keep these 3. And so of all of my liquid lipsticks, that means we are decluttering 13 liquid lipsticks, keeping 19, which honestly 19 liquid lipsticks even feels like a lot. I feel like I probably could have decluttered more of my lipsticks, but you know what, we're gonna pay more attention to our makeup usage. We're gonna see what we use next year. I'm really happy with my liquid lipstick collection. As I continue to use these, maybe I'll find holes that I want to maybe add more shades, but then declutter shades out of my bullet lipsticks. We'll see, but that is going to wrap it up for this portion of the declutter. All right, you guys, we have made it to the very end of the marathon, and I'm gonna let you know that we started with a total of 244 lip products. That's insane to me. That's a little crazy. We definitely don't need 244 lip products. That's almost a lip product for every day of the year. I mean, kind of. I mean, I know we layer lip products. We wear several different lip products throughout the day, but you guys get the point. We ended up keeping a total of 164 lip products. I swear if I end up doing a low buy next year, which I kind of want to do something like that, I should tell myself I need to get to 150 lip products before I can buy any more lip products. Anyway, we kept a total of 164 lip products, decluttered a total of 80, meaning that throughout all of my lip categories in my makeup collection, we decluttered a total of 33% of that portion of my makeup collection, which at the very beginning of this, I said that I wanted to declutter somewhere between 30 to 40% of my makeup collection. So I'm really happy that we were able to hit that target in the lip categories. I will say I don't want to say I maybe would have been happier if we decluttered more. Lips are just a category I really need to be cognizant and mindful of, and know how much I love to buy and try new lip products, but I just have too many. So that's the conclusion of today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I would love to know if you have recently decluttered any lip products from your collection. Let me know what you're letting go of. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.